Hey y'all. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to use ChatGPT to getting your YouTube videos created and creating good content for YouTube specific to your niche. So this example, we're going to be going through building a GPT, custom GPT inside of ChatGPT for a niche example, targeting builders, building residential homes with the goal of making YouTube videos to add value to clients, and then repurposing these videos to educate clients and provide solutions to their problems. And so requirements are here is going to be creating a GPT for this niche specifically, and then how to use ChatGPT to get good content written for the YouTube videos. And so first things first, I'm going to copy this content and open up my ChatGPT account to show you the step-by-step process that I would use in order to begin this process. So first thing I'm going to do is put this into ChatGPT, and starting with ChatGPT 4, press enter. So why I'm doing this is because ChatGPT is very good at helping with creating instructions to articulate the steps in the process that would need to happen in order to creating a GPT. So while there might be some wizardry that you see people creating GPTs out there and trying to make this process seem a little bit harder than I think it needs to be, a GPT like this inside of ChatGPT is quite a simple process and pretty straightforward. And you can often use the GPT itself to help you with coming up with the prompts and the specific inclusions for each particular GPT, especially if it's niche specific like this one is. And so, as we can see here, ChatGPT is coming out with a series of outlines related to this niche. So creating your niche, defining your audience, listing key questions, developing pillar content, and then creating prompts for each video. And so the pillar content is really key here. Obviously, the topics are in defining your audience personas. So this is where I would recommend having ran the buyer's brief, that whole workflow first, and having a buyer's brief that you could feed into this GPT once we make it, so that we know who our audience is that we're targeting, and then doing any sort of research on topics and questions that people have. And so you can do that preliminary with research before creating a GPT, or you can do it inside of the GPT as we create it. So step 2, utilizing it efficiently, be specific, customizing it, and otherwise. And so now I'm going to take the next step and use my voice dictation to give it the next prompt. Okay, thank you. Now, based on the requirements stated above, can you create a series of user inputs that would be required along with the series of prompts and chained commands put together that would effectively go into helping guide the user to submitting the requirements specific for this niche? So I want this to be a residential builder specific niche that we can utilize for creating content for this specific purpose. I want you to create the prompts in such a way that they are structured to be better utilized by a large language model such as ChatGPT. And so now with the second prompt and instruction that I'm giving Chat, it's coming back with what's going to be a series of prompts that are tailored specifically to the residential builder niche for YouTube to streamline the process. So step 1, defining the audience, right? So identifying the core audience, things of that nature, targeting the first-time home buyers and builders interested here. Prompt examples, given my audience and objectives, give me 10 engaging content ideas. And so here, creating a detailed outline. So when it comes to creating a video, you want to define your audience and their objective. You want to help then, once you know that the audience and objective, so what is the audience's primary goal? What is the problem they're looking to solve? Again, these are all questions that you can come and discover utilizing the buyer's brief, but also just basic user research utilizing AI tools like ChatGPT can help get you there. And then drafting the video script for the sections and incorporating the keywords. Now, I'm not personally a fan of completely word for word scripting out every single video that I would be posting on YouTube. I tend to work from an outline first, and then I will fill in the content with my knowledge or expertise on a particular subject, assuming I am an expert in that subject. But if you get a script written just directly from ChatGPT with no additional content's likely going to end up a little bit more generic than otherwise. And so I like to have the AI for brainstorming the ideas and the outline, but then I'm filling in the content because I actually know if I'm creating the content in that niche, assuming I am an expert in that niche. So now I'm going to say, okay, great. Now that you've got the 7-step process up there, I want you to go back from the top and starting from step 1 all the way to step 7 and rewrite the prompts in such a way that they are clearly articulated and they include the variables that would need to be found in them so that they build on themselves, and also include the user inputs that would kickstart the GPT to make sure that the focus is aligned with where we want to go. So here, I didn't really like how it came out with the CSS formatting, and so I just wanted it to rewrite the content. So I want to target individuals doing X based on the target audience of doing, this, incorporating identifying interest in step 1. Content ideas, educating around these topics. And if we wanted this to be a more like general GPT for just YouTube, we could simply replace a lot of the niche specific information like custom homes and otherwise with things like user inputs or variables. But that would be something that if we're doing more broad, but this is going to be more niche for this purpose. And so that is how this process would go. Refine and edit, incorporate keywords, draft a video scriptception. Cool. So now what I'm going to say, I'm going to take this. Okay, now I'm going to ask it one more time. Okay, great. Now, based on what you know above, I want you to write an introduction to this that would act as the initial seed instructions to a GPT to set the context and position it as an expert in this particular field, especially given the niche context of this. And so I want you to start with writing a prompt that's detailed and outlines the specific subject matter expertise related to this specific niche. And then we'll go from there. So here we see initial seed instructions. Imagine you're an expert in residential home building with a deep knowledge and experience in the first-time home builders. Okay. So there we see that. Name that you want ChatGPT or any AI to come from this particular perspective. All right. So now that we know that, I'm going to take this context here. And this is me taking this now onto step 2. So I'm going to open up a separate tab. Now in my second tab that I've just opened up, I'm going to move my face. And in the bottom left-hand corner, I'm going to open up my GPTs. Click on my name, open up my GPTs. Now you'll see I've got the ability to create a custom GPT with the other GPTs loading here shortly. But right now we want to go straight to building a custom GPT. And when I start with the GPTs, you want to fill out your name, you want to fill out your description, you want to fill out your instructions, and then any conversation starters. But I don't start here because I want to start with the create, and then I will transition from the create over to the instructions, because you need to go through a few certain steps as of right now, at the time of this recording, to make sure that you're keeping all the instructions here and on point. And the ChatGPT, the builder, will help with creating the first initial instructions, but it tends to be a little bit less than what I'm looking for specifically. And I've already got a lot of the instructions out here. And so what I'm going to do is take this context, paste it here. I'm taking the context from my initial series of prompts, and I'm going to paste those down as well inside of my GPT builder. Now what I'm going to do from this point, click enter, and now my GPT builder is starting to help with assisting how it will configure the prompt. And so what we'll see on the other side, once we've established the basic use case for this GPT, and we'll create a quick image, and then we'll create I can name for it, and some of that will just happen automatically. Then we'll go over to the configure side and do some of the more fine tuning on the prompts. We'll call this Home Builder Advisor. That sounds good to me. We can always change this, so don't get hung up on naming your GPT right now. It's going to generate a profile picture, which again, you can change this. You can ask it to make more pictures for you. It's using, I believe, DALL-E 3 to generate the image, and should just take a moment. So now we've got an image that's relevant. Looks good. And now I'm going to give it this once again. And I'm doing that because sometimes the GPT forgets some of the context I give it because it's in the headspace of giving me like, okay, we're creating this GPT now. I'm just realigning it with where I want it to go and using this context so it can help me get where I want to go faster. Refine the focus, iterative approach. How would you like me to talk? I'm just going to say professional as the tone. So I'm just going to say it's all good. Fantastic. If you need anything else, time to explore. So now I can go here and start to talk with it. But what I'm going to do now before I begin interacting, I'm going to go back over to configure. Video content advisor, giving it a name, residential building process. Imagine an expert in residential home building, deep knowledge in first-time homes. So it's giving all this context and information. Actually, instead of that, I'm just going to say, put the variable brackets, instructions, just so it knows what I am getting at here. I'm going to paste the entire series that I had put in the other side. So the stick steps, and then the additional prompts for where it's going to be at. We don't need it to create a comprehensive series of prompts, but we do need I'm going to double check I didn't miss anything with this. My prompts here. Imagine you're an expert home build, your audience. You see. Move this here. So we've added that in, got my instructions. And from this point, we've got web browsing, DALL-E image generation. We can add in code interpreter here in case we want to be adding in any kind of market research, analyzing files. Say anyone with a link. That gives other people the ability to chat. And now I can view my GPT. So here we are now with this Niche GPT. I want to create a YouTube video this week on top trending topics on my niche. So you see here, I just give it a open-ended, no specific niche prompt, but it realizes that because we've trained it on this specific niche, it is going to include first-time home buyers and things of that nature. And so how I would improve this GPT immediately is going and finding, let's say, a book that I've written on this topic or other related articles and content that I want to make sure that it's informed with and keeping up to date. And I can add all of that to the knowledge base behind where GPT is at. Right here, we can see, here's some typical trending topics, the sustainable building materials and practices. Cool. I'm going to say design trends, prefab and modern, residential building for climate adoption, the tiny home movement, DIY building projects, future of home building. Let's do topic 1. So now we see, here's the first topic. Now, video title, building a greener future, how to use sustainable materials in your home construction. Introduction, highlight the focus, main points. So we can see what are the main points of the video going to be. So you got that introduction and the hook for the video, and that's where you would add in any things like your call to action to subscribe to the channel, give people an idea of what that's going to be covered in the video. And there's a lot of very popular and well-established YouTube channels that do this on a regular basis very well with the way they structure the videos. So I would encourage, as you're looking through the types of videos you want to produce, go find relevant channels that are in the similar niche and see what the best channels are doing in terms of opening up their videos. How are they keeping people hooked in? And is there anything different or unique that you can do in your introduction, but also make sure that you're not trying to reinvent the wheel necessarily, and modeling success and what works. And so I'm going to say, sounds good. Now to write the script. Again, if this were me, I wouldn't necessarily be using it to write the script entirely from scratch, but I would be using this as kind of like a reference point for what I would want to be shooting the video on. And you could certainly use this as a script and modify it and refine it, adding the cut scenes and otherwise. This would be good for using in collaboration with a video editor or someone that is going to be doing the visual editing for this, so they have an idea about what do you want to actually see here, giving more creative direction. And so that's a good use case for that. First, what does it actually mean to be sustainable in simplest terms? So not bad. I'm going to say now finish the script and create the thumbnail, title, and description plus keywords needed to promote the video. I'm doing this now because you're going to need this stuff eventually. So why not create all of the content for the title, description, and then the thumbnail here before you create the video, so you know what you're going to be creating and producing at the end of the day, and everything is aligned whenever it comes to actually shooting and filming the content. And in this example, I am no expert in this niche specifically. And so as an expert, as someone who is in this niche, whom we're working with as the example for this video, it would be the expert's responsibility to make the decisions and choices as to how aligned all of this is actually with the truth and your experience as an expert in a niche. And then also adding your own spin and touch on it, and more personality, more statistics if you've got them, and other things of that nature. So thumbnail image, striking modern image. I found hit or miss with creating thumbnails with AI, but certainly something that you could utilize Dolly for, getting some kind of brainstorming examples. But as we can see here, a striking image in modern day, clear bold text overlay, build green, top sustainable materials 2024. Video title, building your dream home can mean protecting our planet. In this video right here, subscribe for more meaningful insights. Keywords and protection, script along with the thumbnails. Now, please use the thumbnail description to create a thumbnail image in the size of a YouTube thumbnail. Because you can create images in ChatGPT using DALL-E, it can assist with creating that image as well. TikTok, TikTok. Error creating an image. We're doing so good, ChatGPT, don't fail me now. Sometimes this happens, AI is going to AI, and maybe it's not the right time to create an image in this case if the stars aren't aligned to finishing up this video with an image, but let's hope we can finish things off with an image. But I would recommend working with someone who is a professional YouTube thumbnail creator, as the thumbnails on YouTube are one of the most key and important things to get right for optimizing a video. And this is an example, and this could be an eye-catching image. It's getting much better. 3 E's. So I'm going to say that. Okay, great. I'm going to say, cool. Now create one more image so we can split test. Make it similar but different. From this point, we would take the script, we would take the outline, we would take all the content that we've generated from here, and we could potentially go down and create the remaining 9 of the 10 ideas that we generated following the same process specifically. So the more research you do on the front end, bring that information in, create the outlines, the ideas, the takeaways, the script, continuation of the script, the video titles, the thumbnail ideas. And again, like sometimes words, not always the best, but eye-catching image seems to be in that YouTube style right here. And so could get you some of the way there and on your way to producing a helpful YouTube video in your niche. And so to recap, we started this process within ChatGPT to see how we can create content for YouTube videos and using ChatGPT for that process. But how do we also build a niche GPT to help us with this process? And so we created a niche GPT specific for the building residential homes niche. And so we did that, and we used ChatGPT to help us with coming up with the different components of the GPT, creating those instructions, clearly defining the outcomes, and then refining the prompts inside of each specific section and the instructions. And we turned that into this. We can see as the Home Builder Video Content Advisor, Niche GPT, that you can now use to brainstorm and help with creating videos for YouTube on this particular niche. But you can also follow this process and reverse engineer what I just did for creating a niche GPT for you and your channel, or any type of content that you're creating for a specific type of channel or a specific type of outcome. I hope you found that helpful and useful. Make sure you are subscribed to Generative University for more videos like this, and to join our community if you want a chance to get hands-on and building these GPTs and doing different events within our community and workshops to helping you with leveling up your skills with AI content creation and production. So thanks for that. I'm Darby Rollins. Keep calm and AI on. I'll see you on the other side.